This is Jason Anderson, Chairman of Killingly Town Council, and we are back out of executive session. It is currently 9:57 PM. At this time, we're going to move on to item 16 on the agenda, council member reports and comments. Ms. Barclay, would you start?
I was unable to attend the Housing Authority because we had town council meeting. From the Planning and Zoning meeting on Monday, May 20th, they had a workshop an hour before the meeting. They are rewriting planned residential development, some of which includes adding private sewer and water to include all zoning, which drastically opens it up to developers to develop in the rural area. They're also increasing density and also increasing the number of homes per acre, which is largely affects rural zone, which they would like to have 4 houses per acre with a minimum of 2 acres. The workshop was also continued last Wednesday. I was unable to attend. Michelle attended for me. They will have another workshop an hour before their next Planning and Zoning meeting, which is June 17th. From the Planning and Zoning meeting itself, there was a public hearing for a special permit for 82 Putnam Pike for a 40 by 63 bay metal garage. It's across from the town garage. It's general commercial. They're basically going to use it for storage of equipment. The public hearing is continued to June 17th. New business was 817 and 827 Providence Pike, which is considered village commercial. Behind the Kickapoo, they would like to put up a building for a welding operation. However, there's some inlets and there's some wetlands behind there, and they were supposed to put their application to the wetlands and water courses at the same time as they did to the planning and zoning. So it was suggested that they remove without prejudice so that they can reapply. And that is it.
Thank you. I attended personnel subcommittee meeting, which was discussed on the union contract. Ms. Wakefield.
Had the Borough Council meeting, and there was supposed to be a special rec meeting, but that was actually the night of the reconvened town meeting, so that didn't happen. Red, White, and Blue is coming up on the 28th, if nobody knew. A lot of good stuff going on. If you haven't stopped by, the Sunday that Ra-Ra's has, that part of the purchase price goes towards fireworks, is a strawberry shortcake sundae. I'm not a big fan of soft serve, so I haven't gone there, but I have put money in the jar. And did personnel subcommittee, and that's all I did.
Notes.
Ms. Murphy.
I'm just looking at my notes in here. So I went to Board of Ed meeting, and I think I went to a couple of them, and I went to the Redmond ad hoc committee meeting. Kyle talked about a lot of it. Dr. Nash did a big presentation on new reading software that their state is recommending that we're implementing. It's supposed to be really good. Redmond committee, I think Kyle said it, that they've, said they're going to retire the mascot.
They're passing it to the full Board of Ed.
Yep, passing it to the full Board of Ed. Bullying committee, I was not there for. I heard there were a couple of parents. He spoke on conflict of interest and 4B complaint. Is now a good time to ask if that's normal, to go into executive session and come out and vote and no one knows what they're voting on? Is that like a normal thing And I only got two more things, and then you can answer that, Jason. And they wrote the letter to us requesting the replenishment to 400,000, and we said no, and then they want it in the audience. So that's what I've got for them. I did not go to wastewater. Ed went, but he's away, so sorry.
Thank you. We will come back to that.
Okay.
Mr. Whitehead.
I went to the personnel subcommittee meeting, but that's already been addressed.
Thank you. Mr. Gambatista?
I went on the reconvened Board of Ed. Actually, Bucky was sick, so they didn't have Board of Ed, and I was traveling, so I missed Agricultural Commission last week.
Thank you. So I guess the question that Michelle posted was, when you go into executive session to discuss something, but you come out and vote on it, and there is you're basically not having any information available, that you just voted on what was discussed in the executive session without getting into the details, is that?
Yeah, that's my understanding, that they just said no information at all. Do we accept what we discussed, yes or no? And so then you're in the
Yeah.
public part, so nobody knows what the thing is.
Yeah, so when it comes to, is there required discussion on an item before you vote? There's no requirement for discussion. So as long as there's a motion on the floor and, they have articulated that motion, generally, as long as the item is on the agenda, or has been voted to be on the agenda for a regular meeting, the members of the Board of Ed or the town council, you don't have to discuss. You can just, I make a motion and read exactly what's on the page. Second, no discussion, vote. There's no requirement to expound upon what you're voting on. It's the intention of the members of that board as to if they're understanding what they're voting on.
Any further comments? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion has been made by Ms. Barclay,
Second.
seconded by Ms. Wakefield. I was like, are we going to stay here all night? Nobody wants to adjourn?
Kevin, oh my gosh, we'll have to stay till next month.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? This meeting is adjourned.